Hello, Professor. My name is Sunho, and this is my binary reflection video. For my final essay, I worked about Wikid and how Juchu uses Alpahaba as experience to support the idea that people sometimes need to create their own path instead of following the one society expects them to take. I focused on her experiences at C University, her discovery of the wizards, coefficient, and her transformation during defying gravity. Making one's one road in Wicked. In an interview about Wicked, director Jun Chu states that the yellow brick road is not for everybody. Maybe we have to make our one road, and we have to be our one wizard and make the world that we want. This statement captures the central message of Alpahaba's journey throughout the film. From childhood, Alpahaba experienced exclusion because of her green skin, causing others to judge her before they understand her character. As she grows older, she in, in, encounters pressure to conform to the expectations of society and to seek validation from um, authority figures. However, rather than following the path that promised experience and success, she chose to remain loyal to her principles. Her experience revealed that personal integrity often requires suspects and resistance. Thought Alpahaba's strong stubbornness and choice. The film argued that individuals must sometimes reject com- conventional expectations in order to create a more just and authentic life. Um, Directors John Chu used Alpahaba's experience to show that the yellow brick road is not for everyone throughout her rejection of social expectation. Her refusal refusal to support the wizard's comforting and her decision to define her one identity this, despite the consequence. Alpahaba's experience at State University illustrates how society often rewards conformity and punishes difference. Upon arriving at the university, she immediately became the target of judgment because of her appearance. Other students focused on her green skin rather than her intelligence, compassion, and talent. That's reaction revealed an implicit descriptive assumption in the film. People pre People frequently even evaluate others based on visible characteristics instead of their actual qualities. And Alpahaba's transment demonstrate how prejudice can shape social relationships and opportunities. Despite facing ridicule and isolation, she con continues to work hard and help those around her. Throughout her perseverances, the film communicates the implicit value of individuality. Alpahaba refused to change himself to gain approval from her friends. Her friendship with Granda further developed distance, although Granda in, intellectually value popularity and social status. She gradually recognized Alphaba's uh, sincerity and moral stand. Their relationship suggests that manageable connection are built on understanding rather than appearance. We preserving Alpha as a character who maintains her identity despite social pressure uh, uh, to challenge the assumption that acceptance is the assumption that as acceptance should be the ultimate goal. Instead, he suggests that um, an- intensity and self-respect provide a stronger for for potential for a fulfilling life. Alpha's experience at city demonstrates that following society preferred path is not always the right choice, especially when that path demands the abandonment of one's true self. The film depicts this message when Ababa finally meets the wizard, a figure she once admired and trusted. Before arriving in Emerald City, she believes that the wizard possesses both wisdom and the power to improve con- contention throughout the oaths. She hopes that he will use her magical ability to help others and create positive change. Instead, she discovers that he maintains his authority through the manipulation, propaganda, and fear. The the persecution of talking animals reveals the extent of this corruption. This moment introduced an important implicit positive assumption in the film. People should challenge others when out admire supporter injustice. The wizard serves as a metropole from instance and leader who preserve power by controlling public perception rather than parsing truth. Faced with this revelation, Alfalfa must make a difficult choice. She can cooperate cooperate with the wizard and enjoy state influence and recognition, or she can reject his system and defend her principles. Although corporation would provide personal adventure, she refuses to uh, part- participate in his depiction. Hard decisions require courage because it garners conflict and public condemnation. By rejecting the wizard offer Alpha abandons the conventional route to success and choices of paths dependent my moral responsibility. Throughout this conflict, Chu reinforces offering power per system in order to remain accessible to other value. The 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 clearest expression of true message occurs during the film climatic uh, sequences developing gravity. After learning the truth about the wizard of Haba refers to surrender her belief and accept the consequence of resistance. This sense relies heavily on material and symbolism to communicate its meaning. Alpha Haba's writing represents freedom, independence, and self-determination. As she rises into the sky, she simply escapes the limitation imposed upon her by society, authority, and public opinion. At the same time, the yellow brick road vacation as an analogy for the traditional path that promise experience and success in exchange from obedience. Most people in us choose to follow that road because it offers us society and social approval. Alpha have a choice something different. Rather than pursuing comfort, she focus justice. Rather than protecting her reputation, she protects her principles. This is choice. These choices reflect another implicit value when the film World College. The film suggests the ethical action often requires specific standing assertions injustice. Um, Early protest immediately rewards above unrested that her distance will transfer her into a public enemy, yet she refuses to compensate her convic- convictions. Her transfer from an isolated student into a symbol of resistance demonstrates true belief that manageable change making when individuals trust their conscience more than public opinion throughout the image uh, image of light and the rejection of the yellow brick road show illustration that people must become the art, art, architects of their one future instead of allowing order or to determine their path. Okay. In collection, Wicked present Alpha's journey as a defense of Ontario City, moral courage, and resistance to injustice throughout her response to conform at seas. Her rejection of the wizard confusion and her transformation during defying gravity. She chose principle over expectation and demonstrate the importance of acting according to one's value. The film inflict assumption and symbolic imagery encourage viewer to question preachers college unjust attack and define then that lives in independently of social expectation ultimate choose suggest that manageable life is valid not those community conformity but through the courage to follow one's conscience. One thread of my essay is that organization. Each body paragraph focus on a specific point that support my test, and I included concepts such as implicit value, assumption, and metaphors. I also used specific scenes from the film to support my uh, analysis. One challenge for me is vocabulary and writing style. Earlier in the quarter, I received feedback that some of my language was too simple, so I worked on using more precise and sophisticated word choice in this essay. I also tried to make my analysis more detailed and focused. If I were grading this essay myself, I would give it uh, B plus or regular A. I believe I met the assessment requirement and provide clear advice from the film, but I still have room to improve as a writer. Overall, this quarter helped me become a stronger writer and critical thinker. The essays were challenging, but they taught me how to organize my ideas, analyze evidence, and revise my work more effectively. I still want to improve my vocabulary and sentence variety, but I feel much more confident in my writing than I did at the beginning of the quarter. Yeah. Uh, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time and for feedback throughout the course. Yeah.